Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive. So glad to have you here. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button and follow us so you don't miss out on any future deep dives.
And don't forget to check the comments for a link to today's book. It's a really good one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of which, today we're diving into Sylvia Olah's The Blind Leading the Disengaged. Specifically, we're going to be looking at Chapter 7.
Yeah, this chapter is all about how talent development programs are, well, kind of missing the mark.
Yeah. Have you ever been in like one of those programs and it just felt kind of off? Like you leave and you've got this certificate, but no real sense of how you've grown?
Oh, all the time. It's so common. And Olah argues it's because these programs are trying to develop skills and knowledge, not talent.
Right. So let's start there. What's going wrong with how we develop talent? Olah opens the chapter with this story, this anecdote about an employee who during a team building exercise picks this lion card.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then when they ask him to connect the lion to his work style, he just freezes.
But he can't do it.
Yeah. You can only describe it in this super vague way.
It's like he's scared to own his strengths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Olah uses this to show how these corporate structures can actually stifle individuality.
Totally. It's like we're all expected to wear these corporate masks and suppress our true selves just to fit in.
Oh, it's so true, right? I've definitely felt that pressure before to, like, just conform in certain work environments.
And Olah thinks this is happening because we're so focused on meeting expectations, all these long lists of rules and policies and competencies.
Yeah.
That there's just no room left to actually express, like, our unique talent.
Or even what really motivates us,
Totally. And it creates this situation where instead of helping individuals, uncover their natural strengths, these talent programs are just trying to, like, mold everyone into the same generic shape.
It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. But the good news is, Olah doesn't just point out the problem. She actually offers solutions, too.
That's good. What kind of solutions?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me was this comparison she makes between, like, a rigid corporate environment and a more, how do I put it? A more organic learning culture she observed in a hotel setting.
Oh, interesting. So, like, two completely different environments.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how she contrasts them. Like, this hotel had this really thriving learning culture because they were focused on individual training plans,
Yeah.
and continuous competency development and leadership training for, well, managers. Plus, they encouraged learning through these little, like, nudges throughout the workday.
Little nudges, huh? So it wasn't about, like, forced programs.
Right. It was more about creating an environment where growth was just, a natural part of the job.
And I think that's so important, the environment piece.
For sure. And she, Olah really emphasizes the role of managers in this. Like, they're the ones who can really make or break that learning culture.
Oh, absolutely. It all comes down to how well they understand their team's unique talents.
Right. And that brings us to another key point. Like, what even is talent?
What is talent?
Yeah, like, what are we even talking about here? And Olah defines it as naturally recurring patterns of thoughts, feelings, or behavior that can be productively applied.
Okay, so it's not just skills or knowledge. It's like more about those inherent patterns that make each person unique, right?
Exactly. Think about it this way. You've got a salesperson who's amazing at building relationships, but struggles with closing deals.
Oh, yeah, classic.
So traditional development might say, okay, send them to a training on closing techniques. But what if their real strength is building those connections?
It seems so much more effective to just help them leverage their existing talents to get better sales outcomes instead of trying to, like, force them into some kind of mold that doesn't fit.
You got it. That's
Yeah.
exactly Olah's point. And this leads to her critique of some common pitfalls in how L&D is structured.
So, like, what are we doing wrong?
Well, for one, Olah points out that organizations often assign training instead of encouraging independent learning. Right.
Yeah, makes sense. And she says that often that training focuses on skills that are never even used on the job.
Right. And she's also not a fan of how training success is measured purely based on completion rates rather than actual application.
So it's just ticking boxes instead of actual growth.
Exactly.
I remember she tells that story, that anecdote about the supervisor who finally felt comfortable, like, pointing out a mistake in an SOP.
Oh, yeah, the one she
Yeah,
wrote.
yeah.
That's such a great example of fostering independent learning.
Totally. It shows that they were thinking critically and actually engaging with the material.
And not just passively going through the motions.
Right. It makes you realize that the most impactful learning happens outside those formal programs.
Yeah, it's about creating that culture of continuous learning where employees feel empowered to seek out knowledge.
To challenge assumptions, to ask questions.
Exactly. And that leads us to this other fascinating concept, strengths-based
Oh
teams.
yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
Olah draws a parallel between Gallup's Clifton strengths and the CIA's approach to team building,
Interesting.
highlighting how both emphasize understanding those individual strengths.
So instead of trying to make everyone a jack of all trades,
Right, you recognize each person brings something unique to the table.
it's like you imagine you have a team member who is, let's say, a natural influencer, right?
Okay, yeah.
They might not be the best at, like, detailed planning, but they are incredible at rallying the team around a new idea.
They can get everyone excited.
Right. So
Yeah.
how can you use that strength to make the team environment more dynamic and productive?
It's recognizing the power of diversity, not just in terms of background or experience, but, in thinking styles too.
Totally. And this brings us to Olah's critique of this over-reliance on competency frameworks and models.
Yeah, she argues that while competencies are important, if you focus solely on them, it creates this generic mold.
That overlooks the unique foundation each person brings.
Exactly.
Their talents, strengths, personality, passions, all of it.
Right, and she thinks this can lead to a mismatch between, roles and natural abilities, which doesn't help anyone.
It's like we're so busy making sure everyone fits the job description that we forget to see what makes them exceptional.
Exactly. So, to move away from this cookie-cutter approach, Ola suggests a clear separation of training, learning, and development.
Okay, break that down for me.
So, training can be standardized for, technical skills,
Mm.
but learning, that should address knowledge and comprehension. And then development should be very personalized, to focus on strengths and behaviors.
Like a tailored suit, you wouldn't force everyone to wear the same size and style.
Right. And Ola really goes after what she calls the competency fallacy. She says we've become so obsessed with these predefined lists that we've forgotten what actually makes someone talented.
It's like we're trying to build a house, but only using one kind of brick. You might end up with something, but it's not going to be very interesting.
It won't be very adaptable.
Exactly.
And this ties back into her critique of those traditional talent programs. Ola says they often create this illusion that anyone can excel in any area.
Which isn't realistic at all.
Not at all. It's like we're setting people up to fail by forcing them into roles that don't really fit their talents.
Instead of trying to mold everyone into the same shape, we should be focusing on identifying those talents and building teams around those strengths.
Exactly. It's way more organic.
It's recognizing that a team thrives when people can use their individual strengths to achieve a shared goal.
Yes. She has this great analogy. Imagine this high-performance sports car that's only allowed to drive 30 miles per hour.
Okay.
What's the point of all that power if you never use it?
It's a pretty powerful image.
It shows how stifling it can be for employees when their talents are ignored.
Or underutilized, yeah.
And Ola highlights how crucial managers are here. They need to be able to recognize those talents and create an environment where employees feel empowered to use them.
But the problem is a lot of managers see dealing with people as a chore.
Oh yeah, they'd rather avoid it.
And Olah actually says this aversion to people management is a big reason why leadership is so ineffective.
Okay.
It's like we promote people based on their technical expertise, not on whether they actually like leading people.
Or, have the aptitude for it.
Right. And this disconnect leads to, frustration and burnout.
For everyone.
Yeah, for the managers and their teams.
It's a vicious cycle.
Totally. Olah also challenges the whole idea of a single career ladder,
Like everyone's climbing to the top of the same mountain.
Exactly. Because in reality, there are tons of different paths to success and fulfillment.
Like some people might be amazing in specialist roles and never want to be a manager.
And she argues that organizations need to create more diverse career pathways to recognize different types of contributions.
It's about making a more flexible work environment that allows people to thrive in roles that actually fit them.
Love that. Olah also talks about these two types of learners in the workplace, dependent and independent learners.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So dependent learners, they thrive in structured environments with clear instructions and guidance.
They need that external structure. Think of someone who really benefits from a step-by-step training program, with clear deadlines.
Right, okay. And then you've got independent learners. They're self-directed, and they're motivated to seek out knowledge on their own.
So they're constantly asking questions, exploring new ideas.
Yeah, they're pushing themselves.
Think of someone who likes to, just dive into a new subject by reading articles, attending conferences.
They like to experiment.
Exactly. And Olah says traditional training programs don't really work for them.
Right, it forces them into a passive role, which stifles their curiosity.
It's like trying to teach a fish to climb a tree. You're not going to get very far, and you're just going to frustrate everyone.
Exactly. These learners thrive in environments where they can explore and learn at their own pace.
And she really highlights coaching for this type of learner.
Yeah, a good coach can give guidance and support, but still empower them to, like, own their learning journey.
It's more of a collaborative partnership.
Right.
Olah also talks about the need for more personalized development plans. She says traditional performance reviews always focus on weaknesses and setting goals for improvement.
Which can make people feel discouraged.
Yeah, it's like going to the doctor and only hearing about what's wrong with you.
It's not very helpful.
She suggests that development plans should be strengths-based. So you're focusing on those areas where they naturally excel.
It's about building on those talents, not fixing what's broken.
Exactly.
Ola also challenges the traditional way of measuring the return on investment for training and development.
How so?
She says we need to move beyond a purely financial perspective
Okay.
and consider the impact on, things like engagement and performance and retention.
It's recognizing that the value goes beyond just money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she thinks we need to develop better metrics that capture those benefits of investing in people.
It's about recognizing that a more engaged workforce is more productive and profitable.
Right. And this leads to her final suggestion, which is, maybe the most radical.
What's that?
Breaking the system.
Whoa. Break the system. What do you mean by that?
She's saying that those traditional talent development processes are so bureaucratic and rigid that they actually stifle innovation. So she encourages organizations to really rethink their whole approach.
So it's about challenging the status quo.
Yeah, because what worked in the past might not work now.
Makes sense.
She's challenging us to move away from, these generic frameworks and standardized programs.
To embrace something more personalized and adaptable.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that true talent development requires a deep understanding of each person's strengths, their motivations, their aspirations.
It's about empowering individuals to really take ownership of their own development.
Yes. And so this brings us to Ola's central argument. Talent development isn't actually developing talent.
It's not.
No. The current system is it's inefficient, it's confused, and too focused on generic skills instead of individual talents.
Wow, it's a powerful message. It makes you wonder why so many organizations are clinging to these outdated approaches.
I know, right? It's like we've forgotten that the whole point is to help people grow, not just fill roles or hit numbers.
It really makes you think, how much potential are we wasting because we aren't seeing those talents that are already there?
Exactly. And Ola's chapter really drives that point home. We need systems that support those unique talents. And to do that, we need to understand individual strengths and motivations and aspirations.
And she says this shift needs to happen, everywhere, right? Not just organizations, but managers, too. It's not enough to tweak a few things here and there.
It's a whole new mindset about how we view talent, how we approach development.
It's like recognizing that development isn't a one-time thing or a box to check off. It's an ongoing thing.
Yes, it needs continuous attention and investment.
She also asks us to rethink, what we think success even looks like in the workplace.
It's not always about climbing that traditional career ladder.
Right. Maybe for some people, success is becoming a manager. But for others, it's becoming like a technical expert. There's no one right answer.
It's about understanding that success looks different for everyone.
And that we need systems that value all those different contributions.
Right. Ola also makes this distinction between two kinds of learners in the workplace. She calls them dependent and independent learners.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So dependent learners, they do well in those structured environments. Clear instructions, lots of guidance.
They need that support to feel confident in their learning.
Exactly. Then you've got independent learners. They're more self-directed, They like to find knowledge on their own.
Always asking questions, exploring, pushing themselves.
Right. They like to experiment.
And Ola's point is that traditional training doesn't really cater to them.
It kind of forces them into a passive role.
And stifles that natural curiosity.
Right, exactly. They do better when they're given the freedom to explore and learn at their own pace.
And she's a big fan of coaching for them.
Oh, absolutely. A good coach can guide and support, but still let them own their learning journey.
It's more of a partnership then.
Exactly.
She also talks about the need for those personalized development plans.
Yeah, because those traditional performance reviews are always focusing on what's wrong,
Huh.
identifying weaknesses, setting goals for improvement.
And that can leave people feeling pretty down.
It's like going to the doctor and only hearing about what's wrong, not about how to stay healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She suggests that development plans should be strengths-based. Focus on those areas where the person excels naturally.
Build on those existing talents.
Don't try to fix what's not broken.
Right.
Right.
I like that.
Olah also challenges that traditional way of measuring the return on investment for training and development.
Okay, interesting. In what way?
Well, she says we need to look beyond just the financial side of things
Okay.
and think about the impact on things like employee engagement, their performance, and even retention. So it's about recognizing that the value goes beyond just money, right?
Exactly. And she thinks we need new ways to measure things, metrics that can capture all those benefits of investing in people.
It's recognizing that when people are engaged, they're more productive, and that's good for the bottom line.
Right. And that brings us to her final and maybe most radical suggestion:
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
breaking the system.
Break the system. What does that even mean?
Well, she's basically saying those traditional talent development processes, they're just so bureaucratic and rigid that they're actually preventing innovation.
Oh, wow.
So she wants organizations to take a step back and completely rethink their approach, like start from scratch.
So challenging the status quo.
Yes, because what worked in the past might not work now. We need to be adaptable.
It makes sense.
She wants us to move away from those generic frameworks and programs, the one-size-fits-all approach.
And move towards something more personalized.
Yes, because true talent development means understanding each person, their strengths, their motivations, their aspirations.
And letting them take ownership of their development.
Exactly. And that brings us back to Ola's central argument. She says talent development isn't actually developing talent.
It's not.
The system right now, it's inefficient, it's confused, and it's way too focused on general skills instead of individual talent.
It's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, why are so many organizations still holding on to these old ways of doing things?
It's almost like we've forgotten that the purpose is to help people grow and thrive, not just fill boxes and meet these arbitrary metrics.
Yeah. And you start to wonder how much potential is out there wasted because we're not tapping into the unique talents people have.
Exactly. And Ola's chapter reminds us that we need to build systems to support those talents, not stifle them. It comes down to understanding what makes each person tick, their strengths, their motivations, what they want to achieve.
She's saying it's a change in mindset, a big one, right? Both for organizations and for managers. It's not about adding a new training course or changing up a performance review. It's deeper than that.
It's a fundamental shift in how we see talent and how we help people develop.
And recognizing that it's an ongoing process. It's not a one-time thing. It needs attention and investment.
Absolutely. And she wants us to really think about what success means at work. It's not always about climbing that corporate ladder.
Right. It's about finding those different paths to fulfillment. For some people, yeah, maybe that's becoming a manager. But for others, it's about becoming a real expert in their field.
It's recognizing that success is different for everyone.
And that we need systems that value all those different ways of contributing.
It's about creating a work environment where everyone can thrive, no matter what success looks like for them. Ola's chapter is like a call to action, It's for anyone who's ever felt stuck or limited by those traditional talent development programs.
It's a reminder that we can create a better experience for ourselves and for others.
It's about owning our development, speaking up about what we want, and finding those opportunities that really light us up.
And it's a challenge to organizations to create that supportive environment, an environment where people can truly thrive.
That means investing in things like coaching, creating different career paths, and fostering a culture where learning is celebrated and people feel safe to explore new ideas.
So to wrap things up, let's leave you with a question to think about. Have you ever been in one of those talent development programs that just felt off? Like you were being forced into something, not guided towards your strengths? What could have been done differently?
Share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going and work together to build a better approach to talent development.
And don't forget to check out Sylvia Olah's book, The Blind Leading the Disengaged. It's a must-read for anyone who wants to really understand talent development in today's world. You can find the link in the show notes. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.